Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Crime Centric. This being a show where I talk about crime dramas that I watch. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the latest episode of Rush Hour. It's a very good episode of Rush Hour. I really like this week's case. It didn't go 100% the way I thought it was going to. Like, basically, I thought there was going to be it was kind of a bit of a spooky element to this episode, granted. Like, I thought the whole point was going to be like, oh no, it's ghosts, because, it's basically that very expensive hotel that the whole case revolves around is like, oh, haunted or whatever. And it was just like, no, it ended up being just a regular guy. I mean, granted, he was a serial killer. Shay, basically kidnapped a lot of women and stuff. All the women had happened, Destiny ended up looking like him, like all his previous victims. So it's kind of like, oh, there's copycats and stuff like that. But basically, it's sad, Basically, he was an actor, and he even said to himself why he did it was because just the thrill of it. But basically, this all goes back to a case that Cole dealt with, 12 years ago. Which was kind of interesting, because I felt like this had to have something to do with Cole, because the moment she saw Destiny's picture, she just kind of had a look on her face like, okay, like, this seemed a little familiar to her, but it's like, it did, because she had dealt with the original serial killer all those years ago. There was a situation where her partner that was up there with her ended up getting shot. They winked towards each other. Maybe that was just kind of like we're partners. We recognize each other's signal, or just, that was them trying to signal each other without talking or whatever. To me, I automatically assumed that was something romantic. It's like maybe there was something between them. I don't know. It was never discussed, so it was most likely just a partnership, and I just was reading too much into the situation. But I'd like to think like there was a little bit of something between them for that to be like a thing, like, okay, like, I got the doors, like, okay, wink back, okay, I got you that you got the door, you know what I mean? But the whole situation is just kind of like, he got the upper hand on her, and he's about to burn the place down. He's going to kill her. He's like, you're not my type, but here, I'm gonna kill, get you anyway, just get rid of you. She shot him. And she's basically had to sit with this feeling that she's always had, that he was still alive, because, that they found teeth at the scene, but it's like, nope, he's dead. Everyone kept telling her, you're worrying too much, he's dead, but she's always had like a sinking feeling that he was still alive, and sadly he was. And, for Cole, that has to hit her extra hard, because basically we ended up finding out that there was like, what was it, like 6 or 7 victims, or I don't know if it was 6 or 7, but there was a couple victims. His original spree was like 7 women, but there was like at least 3 women he killed in his past 5 years. So, to her it adds this up, because it's like, if I had finished him when I had the chance, made sure that he was dead, because we never found a body, we only found his teeth, so. But if I made sure he was dead, those women would be alive too. Because for her, it's kind of the same thing as the whole Destiny thing. It started off as a missing person case, because you had these mothers coming to her back in the day being like, okay, find my daughter, she's going missing. And, that has to suck too. Like, I don't know if that's really come up in the show. Does she actually have children of her own? Because I was thinking, like, if that was the case, maybe that's why she relates to the case a little bit more, because she's a mom herself. I don't remember if that's ever really come up. It might have, and I just don't remember. But the fact of the matter is, it's got to sit on her, like, rest on her conscience, being like, yo, I wasn't able to bring these daughters back to their moms, The moms have to live their lives not really, they do know what happened to their daughters, but still to know that, it's just, I don't know, that's a lot of, she probably would have, been happier knowing, like, at the very least, I got justice for them, but it's like, she always had a sinking feeling in her stomach that he was still alive, and it turned out to be true. But he was taken care of. That was kind of good. I'm sure that alleviated a lot of the pressure on her, but, she probably still feels responsible, because, like, still, even though he's taken care of, there won't be any future victims, and Destiny was saved, but that still doesn't save the women that were killed in that 5-year period. I did like the whole, like, him and Lee fighting thing. It's like, surprisingly for a serial killer, a burned serial killer, you would think, like, he held his own against Lee. And I did like that he just kept talking, and even Lee brought it up, like, after Cole shot him, and was just like, is he dead? And she's like, yeah, he's dead this time. He's just like, oh, he just kept talking and talking. At one point, he was even referencing Goodfellas, talking about Ray Liotta. Basically, they didn't really want him for the part or whatever. So it's just, obviously psychopathic actor talk or whatever. I still have to learn this actor's name. I always forget it. I always will refer to him as Nolan from Revenge, but he was in this, and just the way he was acting the entire episode, I was like, yeah, you're too. I don't know. I didn't like his attitude from the first time. They were like, okay, they were looking for help with Destiny. It's like, okay, give us the name of the guy whose room that is, and he's just like, oh yeah, that's who I am. I'm here to serve. That's my job. And just like he was just a little too antsy, and that just made me think like he's very suspicious. I did like that one line from him being like, oh, Lee doesn't know who Wiz Khalifa is. And then Carter looks at him like, I'm surprised you know who Wiz Khalifa is. But it turns out he's a sociopath too, because he ended up killing someone. Basically, the Shea family ended up getting him off the charges. So he's basically been working at that hotel for the past 5 years. That's kind of how he got Shea got away with all these more recent murders, basically renovating the hotel, giving him places to kind of hide. There's like sectioning off the old parts of the hotel by making the space smaller by when they did the reconstruction. So I did like the fact is that Carter beat the crap out of him later on in the episode, and just Carter's getting choked out by him, and he's telling Cole, he's like, just shoot him. And she's like, I'm not going to shoot him. He's got you. Roll him over. Get like he's on top of you. Just like roll over, and then I'll shoot him like that. But then Carter got on top of him and started punching him. It's just like you made me. Basically, when he was running in between the walls and ended up tripping over all those baskets, pissed about that and his shoes, and just beat the crap out of him, bringing a serving plate to a fight. He's like, you should be ashamed of yourself. Other highlights in this episode, I really like the fact is that Carter and Lee are super reluctant to admit that they're getting closer. Gerald brought it up, and so did Dee Dee, and it's just kind of like, no, we're not getting closer. We're just work buddies, in Dee Dee's words, becoming besties, which Lee didn't understand, but it's like for the end of the episode, he's like, yeah, we're besties, and so that was kind of cool. I guess because they come from such different worlds, specifically how they handle being cops. Carter's very lax and doesn't take things too serious. I mean, he knows when to take things seriously, but he's a very chill cop in comparison to Lee, who's very by the rules type of cop. So that partnership, I guess, like they don't want to make it seem like they're getting all buddy when they are, because it's like, the fact is you have Gerald and Carter like taking him on like a guided, tour around LA. So, plus the fact of the matter is later in that episode, when that whole thing, when they were dealing with Shea, both of them got shot at, and he was like, Lee, Carter, and they were just like worried about each other, and just, Lee goes up to him and was like, oh, Carter's talking about, is it okay? Is he okay after being shot? And Lee looks at his jacket and like, you got shot through the jacket. He's like, I got psychologically shot. I did like the fact is that Carter tried to pick up Heather, and it's like, he's like, so would you like to go out sometime? She's like, are you really asking me out now? He's like, is this not really the best time? And you're just like, oh, we're leaving. And then Destiny's like, I hate LA. And he's just like, why does every woman I like leave? This referencing the was that like episode like 2 episodes ago? Essentially, no, it was like 2 or 3 episodes ago. It was the witness in that case that he had a crush on that ended up leaving town. So, and also another side of this episode is we have the return of Alice. We haven't seen her in a very long time, but she's just right on the like, oh God, Lee, you're just the best. You're so funny. You're so sexy, and just extremely thirsty and trying to get his attention. Just feel like, oh, what number should I contact you at? And Carter's about to give her a number, in case like she needs to get in contact with about the case. He's like, just Detective Lee's number. Even that whole thing at the very end of the episode when they're going on another guided tour, and she shows up. She's like, oh my God, what are the chances of us meeting here? Are you stalking me? And Carter's like, we got here before you. She's like, someone's about to sit down next to Lee, and she just stretches her leg out like, oh, this bus is really crowded, isn't it? And sits beside him. It's like, wow, she is really hung up on Lee. The whole thing about Carter bringing up the fact is that he had a thing for Alice. Like, he's like, what was it, a couple years he's worked with Alice, and she's never like sprung to him like the way she sprung on Lee, So that was kind of interesting. It's like he's talking about, I like her. It's like, do you really? Because it seemed like you're bouncing from woman to woman. Whatever pretty woman that comes your way, you're like, hey, give me some of your love and attention. Like, that's what it seems like to me, but maybe he legitimately does. He's never really brought her up in conversations like, oh, I like Alice. The last time she popped up, he didn't really show any interest in her, did he? Or was he just being like that because it's like, it's not fair that the newbie in the department, it automatically gets her attention. It's like, me, I've been here a while. Yeah, she ain't, I'm the veteran officer in this partnership, and she's giving you all the attention when she should be giving it to me. Good. Granted, Carter's a good cop, but he is very, very self-centered. A lot of this show shows that. So the whole bar scene, basically where the guy threw the drink in Carter's face, it led to them end up fighting those chefs. And then basically, Lee took down the other guy, the one that was having the knife and was trying to slice him up, took him down and showed them his badge. And the other chefs that were beating the crap out of Carter stopped. But Carter wasn't, like having that. So he was just like, bitch, punched one, bitch, and punched the other one. And just like, what the hell, what took you so long? He's like, the other chef was trying to kill me. I got here as fast as I could, caught up to the guy, Carter ended up getting punched in the face. I did like the fact that Lee took him down by just twisting his ear, and the guy's apologizing because this guy got anger issues, and then Carter's listing all these things like, oh, you identity theft, running from a cop, assaulting a cop, and also you're being arrested for that stupid beard of yours, which that guy almost looked like he was hurt. He's like, really? You can beat me down about these legitimate crimes, but don't talk about my beard, my amazing beard. I mean, that's how I interpret it. Kind of just a very long, unfortunate series of events for Carter in that particular scene. So, but the fact of the matter is, he threw the drink in his face. That kind of took me by surprise. You never really see that often, where someone's just like, you see someone throw something at you, like whether it's like a chair or a table, or they slam a door in your face, but never someone picking up a drink, throwing it in your face, and then running. Granted, he is a bartender, so it kind of makes sense. That's kind of the first thing that's readily available to him. So, I mean, granted, he just threw the liquid in his face. He could easily just thrown the glass in his face and really messed him up. So, got to give him some points for that, I guess. Some. Very nice episode. I really do appreciate the fact that we got to learn a little bit more about Captain Cole. It wasn't too much. It was just, a little bit look at her past, but still is very much appreciated. I like the fact is we get to kind of flush our character out a little bit more. I like to see Dee Dee's character flushed out a little bit more. We've seen a little bit, hear a little bit here and there about her and Carter when they were partners. Well, really, that was only kind of brought up once about talking about their partnership. But I would like to kind of find out some more about that. But, still, overall, a very good episode, and I can't wait to see the next one. But that's really all I want to talk about in this episode. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day, and goodbye.